As we get older, one of the biggest fears many of us carry is losing our independence. And often, it's not because of illness, but something as simple as a fall. A small trip on the stairs or a slip in the bathroom can suddenly lead to a broken bone and weeks or even months of recovery. Behind these accidents is a condition called osteoporosis, sometimes known as the silent thief, because it quietly weakens our bones without obvious symptoms until it's too late. The numbers are striking. Nearly half of women and about 1 in 4 men over 60 will suffer a fracture related to fragile bones. But here's the good news. While we can't turn back the clock, we can absolutely make choices that protect our bones and keep us strong. Calcium plays the starring role here. It's the mineral your skeleton depends on for density and strength. Now, most people think of calcium and immediately picture a glass of milk, but that's only one small piece of the story. In reality, there are many foods, some of them surprising, that are loaded with calcium and even easier for the body to absorb. These foods don't just support your bones. They can also boost your digestion, improve heart health, and keep your energy steady throughout the day. In this video, we'll walk through the top 12 calcium-rich foods that naturally help prevent osteoporosis. You'll discover which everyday foods pack the most calcium, how to enjoy them in simple meals, and which so-called healthy options don't actually give your bones the support you expect. And if you stay with me to the end, I'll share a simple daily plan that covers your calcium needs without relying on pills or powders. When people think of calcium, the first image is usually a glass of milk, and for good reason. Dairy has been a trusted source of calcium for generations. A single cup of milk contains about 300 milligrams, roughly a quarter of what adults over 60 need each day. Yogurt adds another boost, with the bonus of probiotics to support digestion. Cheese, enjoyed in moderation, provides concentrated calcium in just a few bites. These foods are familiar, accessible, and they work. But many people in their 60s and beyond find milk hard to digest. Lactose intolerance becomes more common with age, and for some, a glass of milk can bring more discomfort than benefit. That doesn't mean your bones have to miss out. Lactose-free milk contains the same calcium as regular milk, without the stomach upset. And today's plant-based milk, tofu, almond, atari, often fortified with calcium, giving you equal or even greater amounts than cow's milk. The key idea is this: whether you prefer traditional dairy or alternatives, calcium can still be part of your everyday routine. Picture this breakfast with oatmeal cooked in fortified almond milk, topped with a spoonful of yogurt. With that one meal, you've already covered nearly half of your daily calcium needs. It's not complicated. It doesn't require supplements, and it's food you might already enjoy. Research consistently shows that people who include dairy or fortified milk alternatives in their diet have stronger bones and a lower risk of fractures. These foods are also versatile. Milk can be added to tea or coffee. Yogurt makes a quick snack, and cheese brings flavor and nutrition to salads or sandwiches. They're simple, familiar options that fit naturally into daily life. So here's a small step you can take today. If you tolerate dairy, aim for 1 serving each day, perhaps a cup of milk, a small yogurt, or a slice of cheese. If dairy doesn't agree with you, reach for a fortified plant milk and use it in the same way. Whichever path you choose, your bones will thank you, and you'll be building a foundation for strength and independence in the years ahead. When we think of strong bones, vegetables may not be the first thing that comes to mind, yet some leafy greens are surprisingly powerful sources of calcium. Kale, bok choy, and broccoli all deliver significant amounts of calcium in a form that your body can absorb easily. A single cup of cooked kale, for example, provides nearly the same calcium as a glass of milk, but with added vitamins and fiber that support overall health. Here's where it gets interesting. Not all greens are equal. Spinach is often praised as a superfood, and it does contain calcium, but it also has compounds called oxalates that block the body from absorbing it. That means spinach, while healthy in many other ways, isn't the best choice if you're relying on it for bone strength. Kale, collard greens, and bok choy, on the other hand, are much more bone-friendly. Adding these vegetables into daily meals is easier than it sounds. You can saute kale with a little garlic as a side dish, toss bok choy into a stir-fry, or steam broccoli to go with dinner. These are simple, low-cost options that don't require big changes to your routine. And because they also bring vitamin K, magnesium, and antioxidants, they give your bones more than just calcium. They help reduce inflammation and improve the body's ability to keep bones strong. Studies have shown that diets rich in leafy greens are linked with better bone density and a lower risk of hip fractures in older adults. That means every serving you add makes a measurable difference over time. Imagine the long-term payoff: stronger bones, fewer falls leading to fractures, and greater confidence moving around in daily life. So here's one small step for today. Add 1 serving of leafy greens to your lunch or dinner. It could be a bowl of steamed broccoli, a kale salad, or bok choy cooked with your favorite protein. Over time, these little additions build up to create real protection against osteoporosis. When it comes to calcium, most people don't realize that some of the richest sources are actually in the sea. Fish like sardines, canned salmon, and anchovies may be small, but they pack a powerful punch for bone health. The secret is in their soft, edible bones. Just 3 ounces of canned sardines with bones can deliver over 300 milligrams of calcium, about the same as a glass of milk. And because you're eating the whole fish, you're also getting protein, healthy fats, and vitamin D, all of which work together to strengthen your bones. Vitamin D is especially important here. Calcium on its own can't do much unless the body has enough vitamin D to help absorb it. That's why fish like salmon are such valuable foods. They provide both nutrients in one meal. It's like giving your bones a double layer of protection. Now, you might be thinking, but sardines or anchovies aren't exactly my favorite foods. That's a fair point. The good news is, they're more versatile than you might expect. Sardines can be mashed with a little olive oil and lemon and spread on whole grain toast. Anchovies disappear into sauces and soups, adding flavor without a strong fishy taste. Canned salmon can be mixed into salads, patties, or even pasta dishes. These are practical, affordable options that don't require gourmet cooking. Research backs this up. Populations that regularly consume small fish with bones have consistently lower rates of osteoporosis and fractures. It's a simple tradition that has protected bones for generations, and one we can easily adopt today. So here's your step. Try adding fish with edible bones once or twice a week. A can of sardines for lunch or salmon patties for dinner is enough to make a noticeable difference. Think of it as a tasty insurance policy for your bones, while also supporting heart health and brain function. With just a small change in your weekly menu, you're giving your body the tools it needs to stay strong and independent. If you're finding these tips helpful so far, this is a great moment to pause and hear from you. What's your favorite calcium-rich food? So far, milk, greens, or maybe sardines? Drop your answer in the comments below. Your experiences and questions don't just help you, they help everyone in our community who's on the same journey towards stronger bones. And if you'd like to keep learning simple, science-backed ways to stay healthy after 60 pounds, go ahead and tap the like button. It really helps more people discover these videos. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Senior Vik Health so you won't miss the next step-by-step guide we share. Now, let's keep going. Because while dairy, greens, and fish are great, there are still some everyday foods you may not expect that pack just as much calcium, and they could be sitting in your pantry right now. When we talk about calcium, nuts and seeds don't usually get the spotlight, but they should. Almonds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, and beans are quiet heroes in the fight against osteoporosis. A small handful of almonds, for example, gives you about 80 milligrams of calcium. 2 tablespoons of chia seeds provide even more, close to 180 milligrams. And sesame seeds, especially in the form of tahini, deliver a powerful calcium boost in just a spoonful. These foods bring more than calcium. Nuts and seeds also contain healthy fats and magnesium, which work hand in hand with calcium to keep bones dense and strong. Beans, such as white beans or chickpeas, are another excellent source. They're affordable, versatile, and provide protein along with their calcium. For older adults, this combination is a win, since protein is just as important as calcium in preserving muscle and bone. Now, here's the part most people don't realize. Adding these foods doesn't have to mean big changes to your diet. You can sprinkle chia seeds into your morning yogurt or blend them into a smoothie. Almonds make an easy snack between meals, or they can be chopped into a salad for a crunchy topping. A spoon of tahini can be stirred into soup or spread on whole grain toast. And beans, they can slip into soups, stews, or even a simple bean salad. These little changes add up quickly. Science backs this approach. Studies show that people who regularly eat nuts, seeds, and legumes not only get more calcium, but also benefit from better heart health and reduced inflammation. That means the same foods protecting your bones are also helping your circulation, digestion, and energy levels. So here's your step for today. Choose one nut, one seed, or one type of bean, and make it part of your daily routine. Maybe it's almonds with your afternoon tea, chia in your breakfast, or beans in your dinner. Each small addition builds towards stronger bones, and the more variety you enjoy, the more benefits your whole body receives. Not every source of calcium is naturally found in food. Some of the most effective options are actually fortified, meaning calcium is added during processing. And for many people over 60, these foods are an easy way to reach the daily goal of about 200 milligrams without relying on supplements. One of the most common examples is fortified orange juice. A single glass can carry as much calcium as a cup of milk, but in a refreshing, dairy-free form. Breakfast cereals are another. Many whole grain cereals come enriched with calcium, along with fiber and B vitamins that support digestion and energy. Tofu, when prepared with calcium salts, can also deliver impressive amounts, sometimes over 400 milligrams in a single serving. These foods are simple, widely available, and familiar enough that they can fit easily into everyday meals. The benefit of fortified foods goes beyond just bone health. For older adults who may not tolerate dairy well, they provide a reliable alternative. They also bring variety, which is key for maintaining interest in a healthy diet. No one wants to eat the same foods day after day, and fortified products allow you to mix things up without sacrificing nutrition. Imagine starting your morning with a bowl of fortified cereal topped with milk or fortified soy milk, plus a glass of calcium-enriched orange juice. Before lunchtime, you've already covered nearly half of your daily calcium needs. That kind of head start gives peace of mind, knowing you're building bone strength every single day. Research shows that seniors who include fortified foods regularly are much more likely to meet their calcium requirements compared to those who rely on diet alone. And because the calcium in these foods is well absorbed, your body can actually use it to support bone density. So here's your step for today. Check the labels of foods already in your kitchen. Look for the word fortified on juices, cereals, and plant milks. Swap at least one of your usual choices for a calcium-fortified version. It's a simple change that requires no extra effort but pays off with stronger bones and more confidence in your health. By now, we've covered many of the best calcium-rich foods, from dairy and leafy greens to fish, nuts, and fortified options. But here's the big question. How do you put it all together in a simple, everyday routine? The truth is, you don't need complicated diets or expensive supplements. Meeting your calcium needs, around 200 milligrams per day, after age 60 can be done with ordinary meals. Let's make it practical. Here's a sample day. Breakfast: a bowl of oatmeal made with fortified soy or almond milk, topped with chia seeds and a spoonful of yogurt. Add a glass of calcium-fortified orange juice on the side. That alone gets you close to 500 milligrams before the day even begins. Lunch: a spinach-free salad with kale or bok choy, tossed with chickpeas and sprinkled with sesame seeds. Add a piece of whole grain bread with a little cheese or tahini spread. Now you've added another 400 milligrams. Dinner: grilled salmon or a can of sardines with bones, paired with steamed broccoli and brown rice. This plate can easily add another 400-500 milligrams of calcium, plus protein and vitamin D. Notice how none of these meals are unusual or difficult to prepare. They're familiar food soups, salads, grilled fish, even toast that you may already enjoy. The difference is simply being intentional about including 1 or 2 calcium-rich ingredients in each meal. Over the course of the day, it all adds up naturally. So here's your action plan. Focus on variety. Choose 1 dairy or fortified option, 1 serving of leafy greens, 1 protein source like fish or beans, and a handful of nuts or seeds. Mix and match them across your meals. This balanced approach not only strengthens your bones, but also supports digestion, energy, and heart health. When it comes to calcium and bone health, there's a lot of confusion. Let's clear up some of the most common myths. Myth 1. Milk is the only way to get enough calcium. Not true. While milk is a good source, it's far from the only one. Leafy greens, beans, nuts, seeds, fish with bones, and fortified foods all provide calcium. In fact, many people around the world meet their calcium needs without drinking milk at all. Myth 2. If I take a supplement, I don't need calcium from food. Supplements can help fill gaps, but food should always come first. That's because whole foods give you more than just calcium. They bring protein, vitamins, and minerals that work together to strengthen bones. Supplements are best thought of as a backup, not a replacement. Myth 3. Coffee and tea wash the calcium out of your bones. This is only partly true. Drinking very large amounts of caffeine can affect calcium absorption, but moderate tea or coffee, 1 to 3 cups a day, won't harm your bones if your diet is rich in calcium. In fact, tea also contains antioxidants that benefit overall health. So here's the bottom line. Calcium doesn't have to be complicated. Focus on food first. Use supplements wisely if needed. And don't stress over enjoying your morning cup of tea or coffee. We've just walked through some of the best foods to protect your bones after 60 tasty. From dairy and fortified milks to leafy greens, fish with edible bones, nuts, seeds, beans, and fortified extras, you now have a full menu of options to keep osteoporosis at bay. Remember, your goal is about 200 milligrams of calcium each day, and with just a few smart choices at each meal, you can reach it naturally. The most important takeaway is this: calcium doesn't have to come from pills, and it doesn't have to be complicated. A variety of everyday foods, many of which you may already enjoy, can work together to build stronger bones. And when you support your bones, you're not just preventing fractures, you're protecting your independence, your mobility, and your confidence in daily life. So let me leave you with a simple challenge. Tomorrow, choose 1 new calcium-rich food from this list and add it to your plate. It could be yogurt at breakfast, kale at lunch, or sardines at dinner. Small, consistent steps create the strongest results. If you found this video useful, please give it a like. It really helps the channel grow. Don't forget to subscribe to Senior Vik Health for more simple, science-backed health tips for life after 60. And in the comments below, share the food you'll start adding to your routine. I'd love to hear your choice.